Welcome back. Thank you for being here and spending some time on your mat. I'm so glad you have made this decision for yourself and taken some time out of your day to do something really good, not only for your physical body, but also for your mental health. Today we're going to be doing a quick flow for kind of some shoulder, chest openers for some better posture. So we're going to go ahead and get started on our belly actually. Kind of a position you don't often see to start class, a little unconventional. Stack your palms and rest your forehead on top of whichever hand is on top. Now, if you prefer, you could always grab a bolster, you could grab a blanket or something else that's a little more comfy for your hands. We won't be here for too long. If this is really uncomfy on your lower back, you could always put that bolster or blanket underneath your hip points, kind of elevate the hips, remove some of the curve from the lower back, allow your heels to fall out, not really any tension in the back side of the body. So you can think of breathing some space in between the shoulder blades, maybe even feeling your back rise. And as you breathe out, kind of releasing, feeling a sinking sensation. If you need to make any adjustments to feel a little bit more comfortable here, go ahead. Try to keep your neck neutral. Soften your jaw. And almost allow the pressure of the mat to soften whatever muscles it's touching. So maybe your chest, maybe your thighs. Kind of allow that pressure, almost feel it like a massage, really working into the muscles, allowing them to soften. One more breath here. Lift your forehead up a bit. Bring your right leg out to the right at 90 degrees. Point the toes out. So the knee's in line with the hip, the foot's in line with the knee. Put your right hand out in front of you just a little bit, enough so you can thread your left arm through, palm face up. Think about thread the needle. Now you could have a few options here. You could rest your forehead on a pillow, or you could parallel your right forearm with the top of the mat and allow your forehead to rest on your forearm. Now mine is a little bit wonky just because of the mic placement, so focus a little bit less on how I look on this side and a little bit more on the cues. So the left arm is threaded underneath, palm face up, and your right hand is either walking forward or the forearm is parallel with the top of the mat. Either way, you're taking a few deep breaths into the left shoulder blade, and then imagine someone is pressing your right hip down. Not super hard, pretty gentle. Allow the right hip to sink to the mat, gentle opening. 2 breaths. Slowly lift your forehead up. Plant the right hand on top of the left like you're clapping the palms. Then really press that right palm into the left palm. Start to roll onto your left hip, left shoulder, and sweep your right arm behind you. So you're in a supine twist. Probably a little bit off of your mat, that's okay. Try to get the right shoulder on the mat. The right knee is not so important. It doesn't need to be on the mat, but the right shoulder should feel heavy. Take a few deep breaths into the right lung. If it feels good, you could even put your left hand on your right thigh. And then slowly come all the way onto your back. You might want to scoot more towards the center of your mat. So we're on our back. Send your right leg up, clasp your hands behind your hamstring. Your left leg can be bent, or for more sensation, straighten it all the way. Flex your right toes, stamp your heel towards the sky, and then work your hands up towards your calf or your ankle. Pick your head and shoulders up. Feel the stretch through the calf, the hamstring, and see if you could straighten that left leg if you haven't already. We'll be here for 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower your head and shoulders down. Release your grip. Plant both feet on the mat. Drive your heels down and lift your hips up for a gentle bridge pose. Press the back of the skull down, squeeze your glutes. Allow that gentle stretch in the front of your body to kind of open up the quads, the abdomen. And then slowly lower your hips all the way down to the mat. Hug your knees into your chest and start to rock up and down the length of your spine, let's say 4 or 5 times. On that last one, we're going to go into a reverse table. So your feet will plant in front of you, your hands behind you. Lift your hips up. You can either look forward towards your knees, up towards the sky, or drop your head all the way back, depending what feels best on your neck. Feel an opening through the front of your body. Spread the collarbones apart. Squeeze your glutes. 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower your hips all the way down. Cross with the right shin in front of the left. And inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, bring your right hand down outside your right hip. Stretch your left arm up and over. Imagine the right hand sliding a piece of paper away from you. Sink your left hip down towards the mat. Take a deep breath into the left lung. And exhale. One more breath in. On your exhale, walk your hands over your right knee first, and then all the way through center to a fold. Drop your head, tuck your chin towards your chest. Sink your tailbone down towards the mat. And then walk your hands back in towards you. You can either cross over the ankles or move your feet to one side. We'll roll over into a tabletop position. Spread the fingers out. Press the tops of the feet down. On your inhale, drop your belly, cow pose, look up. On your exhale, tuck your chin to your chest, round your spine. Inhale, arch, look up. Exhale, round. Let's say 3 more at the pace of your breath. Follow your inhale to the top, and then follow your exhale to the bottom. Last 2. Last 1. We'll go ahead and meet in a neutral tabletop. Walk your hands all the way forward. Forehead to the mat, puppy pose. Keep your hips up high. Think of arching your back like cow pose. So flip the tailbone up, spread the sitting bones apart, and then press the tops of the feet down. If you'd like more sensation, you could even bring your chin to the mat, melt the sternum down. Feel the spine melt in towards the heart for 3, 2, 1. Come forward into a sphinx. Shoulders over your elbows, tops of the feet down. Slide, imaginarily slide yourself through. So you're pulling sternum forward, shoulders back. Press down through the tops of the feet. Squeeze your quads. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips up to a forearm plank. One important thing for posture is your core. So the core should be strong, not only to, have a six-pack. That's kind of a superficial goal of core work, which is fine. But the core is also going to help you with balance, with your posture, preventing injuries in your back, any imbalances in your hips. So really squeeze, especially your transverse abs, your lower abs for 3, 2, 1. Lower your hips back down. And then we'll bring the left leg out to the left at 90 degrees. Point the toes out. Your right arm will thread through, like thread the needle, palm face up. And then you have some options again. So you can rest the right side of your head down, or you could bring your left forearm parallel with your mat and rest your forehead there. I want you to feel a stretch in the right shoulder, like the back of the right shoulder around the shoulder blade. And then a nice gentle opening through the left hip. Nothing crazy, but you can imagine someone pressing down on your hip to maybe deepen that sensation. Two more breaths. And then slowly lift your forehead. Plant your left hand on top of your right. It's almost like you're really pressing down to roll onto the right hip, right shoulder, sweep your left arm behind you. Kind of a funky transition, and you're probably off the side of your mat. More important to get that left shoulder down than the left knee. So if the left knee lifts up, don't worry about it. Right hand can come to the top of the thigh. Take a few deep breaths into your left lung. Enjoy the twist, nice and gentle. One more breath. And then roll all the way onto your back. You might need to scoot yourself more towards the center of your mat, kind of inchworming over. And then send your left leg straight up. Clasp your hands behind your hamstring. Right knee can be bent or straightened, depending on what feels good. If both legs are straight, make sure you're flexing both feet. Either way, those left toes are pulling back towards your face. Stamp your heel up. And then slide your hands up towards your calf or your ankle. Pick your head and shoulders up. Pull your belly button down towards your spine. Try to look for your right toes. 3. Straighten the right leg if you haven't already. 2. 1. Lower your head and shoulders all the way down. Arms by your side. Both feet to the mat for bridge pose. Drive your heels down, lift your hips up. Now if you'd like, you could walk your hands underneath you for a bind. A little more opening through your chest. Scoop the tailbone towards the back of the knees and firm your glutes for 3. 2. And 1. Release your bind. Slowly lower your hips down. Hug both knees into your chest. Rock up and down the length of your spine again 4 or 5 times. We'll go either reverse table like we did last time or reverse plank. Reverse table, you'll do the same thing. For reverse plank, extend your legs forward. Plant your hands behind you. Straight legs, lift your hips up. It's a little bit more challenging. Pinch the shoulder blades together. Breathe some space into your chest. Squeeze your glutes for 3. 2. 1. Either way, lower your seat down, and then we'll meet in a seat with the left shin in front of the right. Inhale, reach both arms out and up. Bring your left hand down outside your left hip. Slide an imaginary piece of paper away from you as you reach the right arm up and over. Sink your right hip towards the mat. Take a deep breath into the right side. And exhale. Inhale here. Walking your hands in front of your left knee first, and then all the way forward. Round your spine. Try to find some length through the back of the body. Let the chin fall in towards the chest. One more breath. And then walk your hands back a bit. Cross your ankles or just move your feet to one side. We'll meet in a tabletop position. All right, from here, send your right leg back and flex your foot. Feel stable and then stretch your left arm forward. Take an inhale. Exhale, crunch knee to elbow, round your back. Inhale, reach leg back, arm forward. Exhale, squeeze, draw it in. 3 more, inhale. Again, warming up your core, exhale. Last 2. Inhale, last crunch, squeeze. Send your leg back, arm forward, then bend your right knee, stamp your heel towards the sky. Reach your left hand back. You can stay here, or you could actually catch the foot and kick into your hand. You'll get some opening through the left shoulder. Press the right palm down, top of the left ankle down. Draw your belly in. We'll be here for 3. 2. 1. Gently release. Right knee down, left hand to the mat. And we'll switch. You should start feeling your core, feeling some heat in your body. Left leg goes back and the right arm goes forward. Take an inhale, prepare. Exhale, squeeze, elbow, knee, round your back. Inhale, extend. Exhale, squeeze. 3 more. Last 2. Last 1. Inhale, reach. Bend your left knee, stamp your heel towards the ceiling, reach your right arm back, stay here or catch your foot and kick. Getting some opening into the right shoulder, sternum forward, plug your left shoulder back. Parallel your chin with the mat for 3, 2, 1. Gently release your left knee and right hand back down to the mat. Tuck your toes, keep your knees bent for bear pose. Send your hips up pretty high. It's like down dog with the knees bent a lot. Try to press your belly towards your thighs, lift your heels up a little higher. Your back should be as straight as possible. Again, this should feel pretty good. Think of lifting the tailbone up towards the sky. And then straighten just your right leg. Melt your right heel towards the mat. Enjoy the stretch through the calf, the hamstring, and then we'll switch. Right knee bend, left leg straighten, drive that heel down. And then take a few moments just to alternate pedaling out your legs. Start to feel the heat in your body. Soften your jaw, relax your head. We'll find some stillness. Drive your heels in the direction of the mat. They don't need to touch. You can always put a little bend into the knees, but try to keep the hips lifting up. Press your chest back towards your thighs. Lengthen your arms. Inhale, lift your heels, and then tiptoe your feet towards the top of your mat. Take as many little baby steps as you can. Once you get there, get a really wide stance, about mat's distance. Keep your toes pointing forward. Bend your knees a lot, and then bind your hands behind your back. Let your arms waterfall up and over, crown of the head sinking towards the mat. Feel a little lift of your sternum as you breathe in, and a little bit extra fold as you breathe out. Enjoy the stretch through the shoulders. So loosening up the back, the chest, the shoulders will help improve your posture, improve any neck pain, chest pain, and then improving your core strength will also help. Just help you sit up a little bit taller, hopefully have a little bit less pain, even in the hips, the knees, all the way down to the ankles. Release your hands to the mat. As slow as you can, ragdoll yourself all the way up to stand. There's no rush to get there. We'll roll the shoulders down the spine. Your feet are still wide. From your thighs, feel a little lift from your belly, almost as if you're pressing down and the body's growing a little bit taller. Find activation through the fingertips, a little lift through the crown of your head. Inhale, reach both arms out and up. Right hand will grab your left wrist and lean over to the right. Inhale back through center. Bend your left knee. Left hand will go down to the mat as you sweep the right arm back, then up towards the sky for a twist. Look up at your right hand, maybe make a fist and roll out your wrist. Stay here, half wrap. Tuck your left rib under, peel the right rib up for 3, 2, 1. Release your right hand down. Heels in, toes out, drop your seat down, yogi squat. You can always put a block underneath your seat. Your hands can come to your heart, or you can walk them forward. Stamp your heels into the mat, light toes. Think of drawing the waistline in, and then growing a little bit taller through the crown of your head. Gentle tuck of your chin, 3, 2, 1. Hands to the mat. Turn your toes in, heels out. Bind your hands with the opposite thumb on top. Squeeze your core, squeeze your thigh muscles. Think of the crown of the head getting a little heavier. And then release your hands to the mat. Slowly ragdoll yourself all the way up to stand, 1 vertebrae at a time. And when you roll the shoulders down the spine, find some activation in your body. Feel the inner edges of the feet lift, the thighs firm. Inhale, reach both arms up. Left hand, grab your right wrist and lean over to the left. Squeeze your left oblique, melt the shoulders. Inhale back through center. Your right knee will bend as you bring your right hand down, center. Sweep the left arm back and up for a twist. Now once you get there with the right hand down, left arm up, make a fist and roll out your wrist. And then half wrap if you did on side one. Peel the chest open towards the sky. Think about the tailbone going back, the crown of the head going forward. And release, left hand down. Inhale, halfway lift, flatten your back. Shoulders go towards your back pockets. Exhale, plant your hands on the mat and step back to a plank. Shoulders over wrists, press your heels back, squeeze your thighs. Scoop the tailbone towards the heels. Inhale, shift your weight forward. Knees up or down, chaturanga. Hug the arms in towards the body as you lower down towards the mat. Inhale, press your hip points down for cobra pose or upward facing dog, hips floating off the mat. On your exhale, tuck your toes. You can move through a bear pose if that feels good, and we'll meet in a downward facing dog. Hips to the sky, firm your palms, so really press through the inner palm between the thumb and the pointer finger. Outer hips lifting, squeeze your thigh muscles. And then inhale, lift your right leg up and back. Exhale, take a step up towards your right thumb. We'll meet in a low lunge. Bring the left knee down, reach your arms up. Once you get here, use your right hand, grab your left wrist, take an inhale breath, and exhale, lean over to the right. Squeeze your left glute to drive that hip forward. Inhale, center. Left hand to your right knee. The right arm will reach back, or you could bring right hand to the lower back. You're twisting. Think about the tailbone dropping down, crown of the head tall, and then maybe you gaze towards the back of your mat. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Tuck your left toes. Pick your left knee up off the mat. Then go ahead and straighten your right leg as much as you can. Flex your foot. Drive the heel forward and down. Rock a little bit forwards and backwards on those left toes, and then get a little momentum. You'll step your left foot up to meet your right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Come all the way up to stand, reach up. Bring both hands to your heart center and down by your side. Inhale, reach your arms up, maybe lean back. Exhale, take it all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Take a step back with your right foot and then drop your right knee to the mat. Inhale, reach both arms up to low lunge. Inner thighs engaged. If the left knee is falling out, try to keep it in line with the hip. Use your left hand, grab your right wrist. Inhale, and exhale, lean over to the left. Squeeze your left oblique a bit. Engage your right glute. Inhale, back through center. Left arm back, right arm forward. Right hand to the left knee. Now the left hand can reach it back. If that's too much on the shoulder, bring it to the hip and just look over your left shoulder. Woo. You should be engaging your core here, otherwise you'll fall out like I did for 3, 2, 1. Both arms up, big inhale. Exhale, hands to the mat, tuck your right toes. And then straighten your left leg, lift your toes so the foot is flexed. You're driving the left heel forward and down, and then add a little rock forwards and backwards. Rebend your left knee, plant your palms, step your left foot back. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga, knees up or down. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feel some heat, some space in your body. Inhale, lift your right leg up and back. Exhale, step to your right thumb. Come up to a high lunge, crescent warrior. Cactus your arms. You can keep palms open or make 2 fists. Feel some opening through the chest. And then bind your hands behind your back. Take an inhale, look up. Exhale, lean your torso forward over your right leg. Squeeze your left leg, press the back of the knee up. And then drop the left knee to the mat. Keep your bind, take a little back bend. So lift the sternum. Exhale, hands to the mat. Straighten and fold into your right leg, half split. Feel the shoulders come back. Sternum forward. Rebend your right knee and then step your right knee back to meet your left, camel pose. Hands to the low back. Send your hips a little forward. Pick your back ribs up and then lean back. Press the tops of the ankles down. Press your spine towards your heart. Inhale back through center. Exhale, round for cat pose. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up and back to the sky. Exhale, take a step to your left thumb. Come up to a high lunge, crescent warrior. Reach both arms up. Cactus your arms, open your chest, and squeeze that right leg. Bind your hands behind your back. Opposite thumb on top if you remember. Take an inhale. Exhale, lean your chest forward. Press your spine towards your heart, broaden the collarbones. Back of the right knee, press up. And then right knee down for a little back bend. Curl back, lift your chest. And exhale, hands to the mat. Step your left knee back to meet your right. And you can either keep the knees together or bring them out wide. We're going child's pose. Forehead down. Find some stillness. Soften your jaw. Soften the space between your eyebrows. If your breath has become choppy or shallow, try to make it a little bit deeper, a little bit fuller. One more breath here. Shift forward to tabletop and then slide your right knee behind your right wrist. Wiggle your left leg back into a pigeon pose. If pigeon doesn't feel good, seated or supine figure 4. You can stay upright. You could put a blanket or a block underneath your right hip. Otherwise, just to keep stretching out the upper body, if this feels good, we're going to take a thread the needle variation. So you're going to thread left arm underneath, maybe bringing the left ear, left temple all the way down. The right hand can walk forward, or right arm can half wrap behind the back, maybe reaching for your right big toe or your left hip crease. Now, not only does this help open up the left shoulder, but you're also helping distribute the weight a little bit more evenly. So it's easy in pigeon pose. So on this side, it would be easy to just shift the weight to the right. But this variation kind of helps you shift a little bit of weight over to the left side. Again, mine looks a little wonky because of the mic situation. So focus a little bit more on how it feels in your body. Deep breathing into the right hip. Allow the tension to dissolve. One more breath. Slowly walk your hands back towards you. You can put your hands beside you or on 2 blocks. And just try to lift the chest up a little bit. So you might want to squeeze the legs, press the outside of the right thigh and right shin down. This will feel a big stretch in the left hip flexor, but a lot of times in pigeon we're kind of hunched over. So try to roll the shoulders down the spine. Start to roll onto your right hip. We'll turn to face the left leg, bottom of the right foot, left inner thigh. Inhale, arms up. Twist over your left leg and fold. We'll be here for 4. Think of dropping your right armpit, right shoulder a little bit. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, come up. Right hand outside right hip. Roll onto your right shin and lift your hips up. Nice big stretch through the front of your body for 3, 2, lower your seat down, 1. Extend your right leg out, wide-legged seat. Both feet flexed. Glue the sitting bones into the mat and then squeeze your glute muscles towards each other. Maybe you stay here today, or you can walk your hands a bit forward. If your toes start to fall in, just walk out a little bit. You want to keep the toes pointing up to the sky. Breathe into the inner thighs. 3, 2, 1. Walk your hands back towards you. We're going to kind of go in reverse. Bottom of the left foot to the inner right thigh. Inhale, reach your arms up. Align your torso over your right leg and fold. Think of dropping your left armpit a little bit. You can always put a little bend in the right knee if that helps. You feel a nice stretch through the lower back on the left side. We'll be here for 3, 2, 1. Release. Left hand outside left hip. Roll onto your left shin. Lift your hips up. Nice big stretch through the front of your body. 3, 2. Slowly release. Both hands will come to the back of the mat. You'll turn the right toes down to the mat and kind of just shift yourself into a pigeon pose. So you're facing the back of the mat and taking pigeon pose on the left. Now we have the same options. If you want to thread the right arm underneath, like thread the needle, palm face up. Your right forehead, temple can rest on the mat, or you could rest that on your left forearm. Again, this kind of helps bring some weight over to the right side of your body. Where can you find a little bit more softness? One more breath. Slowly start to walk your hands back, unthreading that right arm. You're gonna bring the hands outside of the hips or to 2 blocks. Think of, you can almost press down through the outside of the left shin. Maybe even squeezing your right glute helps to feel a little bit more lift. Roll the shoulders down the spine, proud chest. And then work to swing your right leg all the way around. You're facing the back of your mat. Both legs extended. Move your hips a little forward. We're coming all the way down onto our back. Once you get there, hug both knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice squeeze, maybe a little rock side to side. Good news is we did 2 bridge pose at the beginning, so we're just going to take 1 more bridge pose, little inversion, and then we're out. Plant your feet on the mat. If you've got a block, you could always take supported bridge. Let's go ahead and lift the hips up. Maybe block underneath your tailbone. If you want to bind the hands again, go for it. Back of the skull, press down. Think of lifting the chin a little away from the chest. Can you send your hip points up a little bit higher? 3, 2. If your hands are bound or you have a block, release, move it out of the way, and slowly lower your hips all the way down. Hug your knees into your chest. I'm going to lead us to happy baby, but if you prefer a waterfall or shoulder stand, you can go there instead. Bringing the knees towards the armpits, try to pull the tailbone back down to the mat. Ideally, you want to stack your feet over your knees and then imagine pulling the shin bone down into the knee joint. Stamp your heels to the ceiling, put a gentle tuck in your chin. Imagine the entire spine pressing into the mat, and then once you're there, maybe if it feels good, rock a little right and left. Straighten right leg. And then straighten left leg, only if that feels good. We'll come back through center, give your knees a squeeze. Right leg stays in, extend your left leg. Take the right knee all the way across to the left. Nice gentle twist to close us out. One more breath. Slowly back through center, knees to chest, realign your spine. Left leg in, right leg extend, take it all the way across your body. Sink the left shoulder to the mat. Notice the space you feel, the space you've created. Enjoy those sensations. Slowly start to release through center. Hug your knees into your chest. Extend your legs, sprawl your arms off your mat. If you have time, I encourage you to pause the video, stay for as long as you can. Otherwise, just give yourself at least these 5 breaths. Shavasana. If you have the time to stay, I encourage you to do so. Otherwise, bring a little wiggle to the fingers and toes. When you're ready, lengthen your arms overhead, point your toes. Hug your knees into your chest and roll to one side, fetal pose. Soften your jaw, allow your eyelids to be heavy. And slowly make your way up to any comfortable seat. Maybe notice any changes you feel, mind, body, or spirit. Any areas of your body that feel a little bit better, a little bit lighter. Bring both hands to your heart center. Feel a heaviness through your sitting bones, a lightness through the crown of your head. Take an inhale. Exhale. Bow your head towards your heart. Take a moment to honor your practice. Everything you did for yourself these past 35 or so minutes. Awesome. Open your eyes. Namaste. Beautiful work, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you feel amazing and feel pretty open through your chest and shoulders. With repeated practice, these exercises can help improve the way you carry yourself, kind of rolling the shoulders down the spine, getting a little bit more length through the crown of your head. So keep coming back to it. I promise you will start feeling better and better each time. Such an honor to guide you. See you next time.